So time for a quick Auspex Tactics channel update, talking through the winners of giveaways and the ones for the future, and video plans past and present. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today I'm back for a quick channel update, talking briefly about videos over the past month, and then going on to talk about the channel giveaways, the next one of which will be this one for any one big 40k Centrepiece miniature. Before getting on to that though, let's talk briefly about videos this month, and probably the biggest thing out of the ordinary for me is having lost my voice for the past few days. I want to say that might have set a new record for the longest period of time on the channel since it started about 6 years ago, where I haven't released a new video. I have had times where I haven't been able to record for longer than that, but generally I've had videos in the stockpile before so I could do a bit of covering the gaps. But this one just fell on a particularly bad time, basically very quickly going from being able to record normally to all the way to being just completely unable to talk for a few days, which maybe wasn't the most helpful when I made slides for a whole bunch of videos, but they all got pushed back a bit. As you can probably tell at the moment, I'm still just about on the recovery. I'm really hoping things get a bit better in the next few days if there are going to be Leagues of Votann codexes to be talking about, never mind trying to get ahead and record some more normal content. It definitely makes me a bit apprehensive when it's literally the only way that I can work is being able to talk, and then to have that power taken away from you isn't really the best. Though I have to admit, if it had to happen at just about any time in Games Workshop's release cycles, the last few days weren't exactly the worst timing that it could have had. It certainly would have been a whole load more stressful if it had happened in the middle of a balanced data slate or something. Nogle's afflictions aside, it was a busy month last month, some big reveals from Games Workshop's big summer preview, 2 more codexes coming out with both the Black Templars and the Grey Knights and all the stuff around those. Though I still had some time for a few more big project style videos. I did one for every faction's best looking miniature, which was quite a fun one to do as a counterpoint to the ones that people dislike the most. And I did one of those big sort of win rate style ones, talking through every faction's performance in the game. It maybe does feel like there's a few more obvious things to fix in 40k than normal though, just with a few factions like Death Guard and the Knights stomping ahead of the meta a bit. I'm hoping I'll be able to get a bit more recording done in the next few days. Certainly lots of things are built up. Seems that we're getting Leagues of Votann this week, so I'll be covering any news of the previews that they give us. I'm looking forward to doing a full codex review when we get that. On the 40k releases, I suppose that means it's Kill Team Tomb World and the other Space Marine releases at least sometime after that. We've still got the Imperial Knights codex to come at some point, though Games Workshop didn't decide to give us any sort of roadmap into the future at this point though. I've got plenty to catch up on the backlog of slides that I had made though prior to being ill. Hopefully some of the next ones should be a Start Black Templars video, rating every Dreadnought, revisiting Scale Creep in 40k, an army list focus video on just a few unit types. I have been gradually building up some slides towards a strengths and weaknesses for every Tyranids unit sometime. That should be quite a fun one. There might just be a fun collaboration video happening later in the month as well, though I'll leave details of that a mystery for now. Let's talk about the channel giveaways though, both the winners for the August one and the upcoming one for September. This one had the new entry format for the free one, which seems to have worked well. I'll mention that in a second, but ultimately the winners of the Tank or Monster Spearhead Force for any 5 Warhammer 40k medium tank or monster style vehicles, they were Jacob Sanders, Brendan Rios, Brett Robeson and John Terrell Hughes. Congrats to you guys. I've sent you all messages to ask you exactly which miniatures you'd like. After they've been ordered in, I'll have them in the post out to you. As mentioned at the start though, the September one is going to be a fairly big one for 40k Centrepiece miniatures. Basically the prize being any one Warhammer 40k plastic model, which could be anything up to a super heavy or knight or something, but for this one, due to the prize not being quite as big as some months, there's going to be far more winners, a big 12 of them. The entry rules for this one will be the same as the last month. The prize will basically be that 12 channel viewers will get one Warhammer 40k plastic miniature of their choice. The biggest and most fancy ones on offer, I guess at the moment, being things like the Cerastus Knights. There's plenty of other big plastic super heavies in that kind of price bracket. Hopefully it should be a nice way for a bunch of people to get a luxury buy into their collection, maybe something like the Void Dragon, a Demon Primarch, or an Allied Knight. I guess an Allied Imperial or Chaos Knight could be really quite useful to a whole bunch of armies. There's plenty of other big faction-specific Centrepiece models out there, a mighty Baneblade, a Tyranid Norn Emissary, or the big and chunky walking garbage can that is the Orc Stomper. Some of these are a little bit less pricey than other ones, so for ones that are significantly low, the sort of money cap for this, I'll let you make up the difference with an extra kit, provided the spend is less than £125 or $210. So say for the Tyranid Norn Emissary, you could get a Tyrannifex on top of that, or for the Stomper you could get a set of Orc Boys. In any case, to enter as per normal, there'll be 2 equal ways to enter, both of them links down in the video description. either supporting the channel on Patreon for any paid amount. That gets you automatic giveaway entry each and every month, and it's the main thing that supports the videos that I make on the channel. A massive thank you to anyone choosing to. But otherwise you can enter completely for free via social media. To do that, you do these 3 actions: subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then like or follow the Facebook page. And then to actually enter the giveaway, a Facebook post appears on the 1st of September at midnight UK time. That'll have a link to a Google form. For the primary point of entry, I will ask for a picture of any 40k mini or imagery, along with your name and the date handwritten within it, that bit just to deter Facebook bots and spammers. 24 hours after that going live, I'll close the giveaway and do the draw. I do it with a random number generator, picking out the winners, in this case 12 of them. Winners get announced in the channel update video that's the equivalent of this one in September, so around about the 4th of the month, and then models will be shipped out to people after I've received my orders of them. In any case, hopefully it should be a good way for a few people to get some fancy 40k kits that might have been a bit out of the budget range. Both the Patreon page and the Facebook page will be links down in the video description. Just relating to the giveaways and the free entry format, I talked about this in the last channel update, but it looks like the new format's gone fairly well. Previously I asked people to submit their hobby pictures as a comment on the giveaway post. Unfortunately it had got targeted by scammers a few times in the past, though it went a bit next level 2 months ago, to the point where basically something needs to change, as I don't want the channel giveaway being an easy route for lots of people to get mass messaged with scam stuff. As a result, I changed the actual entry format to a Google form. That seems to have done the job in terms of allowing people to submit the same information. The only downside is that you can't see all the fun hobby pictures, which is a shame. I was going to do a bit of a halfway house by pulling out a few pictures of people's hobby each month to showcase them here. For the giveaway itself, I left the comments open initially, but the scammers jumped right in and messaged a whole bunch of people, so I just decided to lock the comments, not to allow anyone to comment on it, and that seems to do the trick. I think for the next few ones, I'm probably just going to start with the comments locked, just so everyone goes to the Google form and doesn't give the scammers any way to mass message people. After a few months like that, I might trial opening the comments on the post once again, but I think I'll give it a few months in the hope that they get bored. There didn't really seem to be too many issues with using the Google form as an entry method. One thing a few people brought up was there's no way to edit an image submission once it was uploaded, so I've included a sort of second chance bonus field for adding an extra picture if you messed up the first one in some way. Hopefully that should be helpful enough for people who say forgot to include the name and the date handwritten bit. And a couple of people did say that they had some trouble uploading the image to the form. I'm not 100% sure why that might be for some people, but not most. It does look like around about 3,700 people managed to, and those numbers seem pretty similar to the Facebook post entry ones. I'm certainly happy to hear any feedback or suggestions from people who did use it though. Overall though, with a few tweaks, this will be the method that I use going forward. Finally, as mentioned, I'll give a shout out to a few of the people who showcased their cool hobby on the giveaway form. I've cropped out the name and the date bits and just gone by their pseudonyms, but Jordan's got some fun looking Khorne Berserkers on the go here. Space Ninja has a pretty heavily corrupted Nurgle Knight there. I quite enjoyed the purple plated Custodian, not so very different to a few of my ones there, going for a bit more of a black and purple colour scheme I see there. We've got a Black Legion Terminator by Anshin Coetzee. And I feel like I saw a fair few Grey Knights in the entries too. I guess they have had their codex redone. There's some by V. Licari here, and here's a Terminator with a fairly striking black and red colour scheme by Kay McAllister. Always fun to see a whole bunch of real people's hobby out there, obviously just showcasing a tiny fraction of the things that were submitted there, but I aim to keep on doing that each month. Otherwise, that's just about it for this one. Given it's the channel update video, I might just give a quick shout out to the channel's merch things, which are links down in the video description. If you want a fun Auspex Tactics pin badge or a keyring, then they'll be linked in the link tree below. They're quite fun and well made things made by Patent Pewter in the UK. They can ship globally through Etsy. And otherwise the channel dice some of the most popular things on the merch front. These ones made by Baron of Dice have got a pretty awesome feel to them. There's 2 designs available in black and white. I think that's it for news and announcements though. As always, a massive thank you to anyone watching, liking, subscribing and all of that. It's always a pleasure to be able to do this as my job. And I'll certainly keep the 40k videos coming just as often as I can, hopefully stepping into the next gear a bit when my voice gets better. In any case though, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.